Hi there. In this video we're going to use the Boundaries and Prefabs tool to create a concave boundary that has triggers. So this is a limitation of Unity where you can't have a mesh collider that is concave and also have triggers. So normally you would just have a series of box colliders or other primitive colliders that are set as triggers. So the boundary and prefab tool does have the ability to place prefabs along the boundary already, and there is a prefab collider setting that says set to trigger here. So in order to do this, I mean it will help out with actually placing the triggers, but there will be a little bit of manual placement that's going to be needed at the end that we'll see. So the first step is to, obviously, once you've got your boundary created, you create a prefab that really just is a box collider. And the placement of the collider is one that the transform is very near one of the edges, as you can see. So the root of the transform is here, and so we want really it to be placed around the boundary along that line. So what I'll do then is after creating this prefab and saving it, then I'll go to the boundary and add a prefab, add that trigger item as a prefab. Again, make sure that the prefab collider is set to trigger, or you can do none. It's not going to do anything if you want to configure your own prefab that way. And then we just click place prefabs, excuse me, and that's going to by default just try and place prefabs as needed. So obviously, depending on your game, you're going to want to have a different number of these depending on performance. If you were to resize the box collider on these to make it a bit bigger, and then if we save that and go back, then we will replace them, and it's going to place them a little bit differently. So as you can see, it's again, depending on your use case, because you can see here, like this last section was too small, so the collider wasn't able to be added in there. So that's when you get into manually checking your boundaries based on the requirements of your game. But at least this will eliminate the need to by hand place triggers everywhere. And it is nice too, because each one of the colliders you can add behavior to the actual prefab, and then replace the prefabs there, and then each one is going to have that behavior. So it does allow you to easily control the triggers based on prefabs. So I hope that's helpful, and let me know if there's anything else, any other features we can add to this that'll make it better. Thanks.